I'm Doc Palmer. I'm the author of McGraw-Hill's best-selling reliability book for the last 20 years, the Maintenance Planning and Scheduling Handbook. Because the principles of planning and scheduling are a bit unusual, most people just can't get it, but that gives us a competitive advantage if we can master them. They're fairly simple to master, but they're unusual. We want to run planning as a Deming cycle, where we freely admit that plans are not perfect, they're head starts, and we don't concentrate on making them better over the years. We're not telling craftspersons how to do their job. They are professionals. They know how to do their job. We're helping them do their job with the information and stuff that they might not remember, or might need a reference for, or might need to check certain steps for. It's kind of strange that we're not telling somebody what to do. The word planner makes it sound like that. And in scheduling, we want to fully load schedules to defeat Parkinson's law. Most people want to underload the schedule so they can complete the schedule. But then they aren't completing as much work as they can because Parkinson's law is their enemy. And we've talked about that before, and I'm sure we'll talk about Parkinson's law again. The amount of work expands to fill the amount of time available. Today we want to discover the second principle of scheduling itself, which is we need a credible priority system. Not too simple, not too complicated. Sounds like the Goldilocks story with the three bears. The system I like, I don't know if I like it because I grew up with it, but I've certainly come to appreciate it over the years. We had 5 levels, and that's what I like. 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. 0 is an emergency. We would start it right now. We'd be responding. We'd come in the middle of the night, no questions asked. There might be questions later, but if somebody declares a priority 0 emergency, well, come on in. There could be some negotiation after we talk to the operator. Yes, we could start it the minute we get there first thing in the morning. Now, priority 1 is urgent. We would like to complete that this week. Priority 2 would be next week is okay. Priority 3, we'd like to complete it this month. And a priority 4 could be maybe longer than a month. We just don't want to forget about it. We want to put it on the list. Could be for a project where you've never had the benefit of this project. It's not an emergency. But we certainly want to get it and keep it on the list and everything. So I like the 5 levels. Some people just have 3 levels. They have emergency, urgent, and routine. Well, in a decent plan, I'm not the ultimate numbers person, but we would like to have maybe 20% of work that we really need to go and get after it. But we're pretty much in control when we have 80% of our work being 2s, 3s, and 4. Well, 80% of your work can't be almost all of your work. All of the work in your backlog can't be done next week. So you need at least 4 levels. I like 5 levels. It stretches it out a little bit. It makes sense to have a parking lot for things you don't want to forget about it. Now, 0s and 1s are actually not maintenance. They are what Six Sigma statistical people would call defects. They are defects. You have not done your job to maintain. You've let something break, and you have to fix it, and people are yelling at you. This work is not maintenance, but we're the people that are going to fix things. But we're fixing it because we did not do our jobs to maintain. The ultimate maintenance KPI is actually your 0s and 1s, your rate of your incidence of 0s and 1s. If you're averaging 600 a month, that might be a good number or a bad number depending on your facility. But what's bad is this is a flat line. Who is driving this number to here? Who's driving this number to here? You're doing Pareto analysis. You're analyzing what's going on. And as this gets lower, you're becoming safer. You're not working in the middle of the night. People are not yelling at you. You can wait till it stops raining. You're not forced to try to decide if you should use the wrong tool, but you think you can make it work. You might have the part that's not the best part, but you really don't have time to go get another part. So you're making do. And we're pretty good at that in maintenance. But that's not safe and it's not profitable. This is proactive maintenance, your 2s, 3s, and 4s. Every extra dollar you make yourself do in proactive maintenance is worth $10 in your profit. Instead of letting a bearing break, replacing it at a wrong time, collateral damage, and loss of product, you're greasing the bearing properly so it doesn't break. Or you've noticed a defect in the bearing and you can replace it at a convenient time where you won't cripple something else or lose product. So the problem with us is we have our hands full of reactive maintenance. Many companies have about 50% here or more, and about 50% here. We want to drive those 0s and 1s down by doing more of this work here. And you've got to make people use these priorities right, or you don't even know where you are. Your first line supervisor has to make your operators adhere to these priorities, or you don't even know if you're getting better or not. Everybody just can't say it's a priority 1 because it ought to be done this week because maintenance is not doing anything anyways. Look, if all of our work was priority 3s and 4s, that doesn't mean we're not busy and we're waiting till it can't wait. We want to be busy doing 2s, 3s, and 4s. The supervisor I worked with did a great job in this, named Bob. He'd get a phone call every morning at 7:30. This is Bob. Oh, you got an emergency. We can jump on that right away, but let me ask you, can this wait until next week? Yeah, I know what an emergency is. No, I was just asking. We've got things to do, but yeah, we can do it right now if we need to. But let me ask this. Can we wait and do it later this week? Then we can get the planner to check, see if we have the right parts and stuff. No, I can't wait. Okay, no, that sounds pretty bad. You sound pretty excited. Well, let me ask this. Can I wait till this afternoon? Then maybe the planner can look at it anyways, and I won't have to interrupt a job. It can't. Okay, well, look, I tell you what. Got 2 people. They're going to finish up a job mid-morning. What do you say we do it at 10 o'clock? Rodney and Sally. Yeah, okay, no, do it 10. That's great. Okay, no, don't hang up. You got to give me the work order number. Yeah, he's a tough plant manager, but he says we're not supposed to do work without a work order number. And you said you're in the control room. No, you don't have to fill it out. Just call it up and give me the work order number. Oh, what do you got to make it priority 0? Yeah, he said priority 0s are bad, and they are. No, if you make it a priority 3, we're not even going to do it next week. No, he doesn't like 1s either. And we definitely won't do it today. If it's a 1, we'll do it tomorrow or the next day. Okay, no, I got it. No, if it's 0, it's 0. Let the chips fall where they may. Okay, got it. Got the number. It's a 0. I got to go. We got things to do. See you at 10 o'clock. Bye. And he's not abusing these operators. He's just making sure we use the right priority for these things. We got to know, in fact, are they 0s and 1s? Now, where some people just have 3 levels, emergency, urgent, routine, just to not upset the apple cart, I would see if you could change it to emergency, urgent, routine high, routine normal, and routine low, and make your system default, your computer system default to a normal. So, most maintenance, it needs to be done this month, but, if it needs to be done sooner, we can do it sooner. And then some people have a lot longer. They'll stretch it out to, let's just say, 10 levels, 0 through 9 being 10 levels. I think that conversation is more difficult between operations and maintenance. This is a key coordinating device, the priority system. Here's a need. How long can it wait? This is what we can do. When do we think we can get to it? And you can kind of pick between this week or next week or right away or can wait longer than a week in a discussion, coordination with operations and maintenance. When you start to get, well, is it really an 8 or is it really a 5 or is it really a 9 or is it really an 8? Is it really a 5? Is it really a 4? You're damaging your coordination, that conversation. We're good at specializing, maintenance operations. We're bad at coordinating. That's why things fall in the cracks, because we don't have good coordinating devices. Now, I would like 10 levels because it would make more people pick a 4. But at some point, you're really gaming the system. Just have a good system and use it. Have that first line supervisor sensitive to pushing back. If it's an emergency or urgent, we'll do it this week. It's not a big deal. But don't say it's a 0 or 1 if it's not. And finally, I will say this. Adjectives versus time frames. I have time frames here. I think this embodies in everybody's mind how urgent it is and how serious it is. And it might be safety, environmental, productivity, product related. But I think if you get too many adjectives in there, you could have an example of some or two, but just like, okay, it's environmental. We might exceed our permit in the future. I'm not sure when. And if we did, it would be this bad or this bad or this bad or this bad. Or somebody might pinch a finger and might cause 100 fatalities. And I just don't know where you would start. The adjectives might be better for a project ranking. But in the day-to-day, week-to-week maintenance, your operators are pretty smart. Your maintenance people are pretty smart. And they've got a feel for how long something can wait. Your priority system importance and how complicated it is, I think some people are saying there's some work we're never going to do. I disagree with that. I think we can do all the normal maintenance work. So as you fully load schedules to defeat Parkinson's law that we'll talk about, we'll talk about more. This priority system is going to allow you to fully load schedules to defeat Parkinson's law, drain your backlogs, and then nobody's going to care about the priority system. So if you're way behind because you're not productive, you probably have a really complicated priority system. Or maybe it's too simple and you're just ignoring it. But as we get more productive, the criticality of the priority system pretty much goes away. But you do need to record your 0s and 1s religiously to know if you're getting better or not. And that's the goal of maintenance, is to reduce people yelling at us. So God bless. Thank you for letting me be part of your maintenance family today.